Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to study about rock ending. We call it cutting off back rank pawn and Lucena rock ending. Cutting off back rank pawn is a pawn where it can get loose without protection by a rook cutting off technique. Lucena rock ending is one of the most famous and important positions in chess endgame theory. This endgame theory is a process by which it cuts off the opponent's king and the rook to enable to promote a pawn. Let us see these two diagrams. The first one, as it shows, white has a piece at rook b3 and the king is located at f8, while the black side has king at f6 and pawn at f4. Black is trying to promote the pawn to f1, but with the guarding of the rook at b3, but it's white's move. What shall white do to be able to prevent the pawn from promoting? We cannot use blocking technique because king just approaches it and it gets closer to the goal to promote. As you can see, it closely going closer to the rook, and it helps much for the black side about the blocking technique, which is not effective on this area or scene. Now it's a draw. If we go back to the original position, the only way to win this position is by using the cutting of back rank pawn, which is placing the rook at b5. As you can see, we cut off the king from passing by that line. So pawn has its own word now if he wants to push the pawn. So let's see. If pawn pushes, rook b3 wins and the king's pawn is cut loose. If it pushes, check, and it's free pawn now to be captured. Let's go back again. After this move, if king decides to go sideways, king just opposes it. If king goes to d6, it's not possible because there is a move rook f5 and the pawn is loose and it's free. King has to go back to its original position by king f6. So king d7, king g6, king e6. Now only moves to go down or king h6 here. Now rook is coming to attack the pawn. This is easy technique. As often as many times also it happens during rock ending. I love rock ending because I believe 60% rock ending, because that's the pieces that always comes left after the middle game. Now we're going to the next one. We're going to study about the Lucena variation. If you can see this diagram, there's a pawn at c6 and the king at c7 supported by the rook at c1. There's another rook at g2 and king at e7. So the way to do is to cut off the king first by checking it. If the king decides to go up, we have to push the pawn by placing the king at d2. Rook check, king c8, rook attacking the pawn, push. Now if the rook decides just to move forward just one square, rook needs to do his job about Lucena technique. That's the Lucena technique. If the king approaches the rook, now the rook goes to e8 to protect the pawn from promoting to c8, because sooner king will sidestep to have a way for the pawn to promote. So just in case rook goes here, king b7 check, king a6 check, king b5 check, and king a4 wins. This is another way of winning. So if we go back to this position, if this king wants just to go down here, same pattern, but we just move the king here, check, king c6 check, then king d6. If it checks, this is a bad move. Why? We have this king f5 move. If it checks again, it covers that check. Then our pawn here at c7 will promote. There's many ways to win, but seems like Lucena is so effective that if you don't know this basic theory, you need to ask someone else like in the chess club to teach you about this endgame processes. So I hope you enjoy this endgame and bring your chessboard and practice it with your friends or with your friends in the chess club. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and learned about it. Thank you. God bless.